So, turns out it's going to be a pretty good year after all. Now that the harvest is in, we ought to get a couple checks from the farmers' co-op, and I know that that's going to take care of the mortgage for the winter time. And Hank Argo says that he thinks that the government subsidies are going to be increased this year, so we're...
You make it sound really very hopeful. You know, I've been thinking, sweetheart, when I come home, we're going to have to go through some of that equipment and see what needs to be repaired. And...
No, I want you to just relax about that, okay?
Yes, even thinking about such things is forbidden. I've heard your doctor's orders, and I've promised Seth I'd help hold you to them.
You should see Sabrina these days. She's quite a hayseed.
Yes, I am. I'm very handy.
You'd be very proud of her.
Well, that's very nice. But Sabrina's a wonderful artist, and she should be painting. And you're a very, very gifted writer. And you, young man, should be writing.
I am. At night, if you can believe that. As a matter of fact, with any luck, I ought to have the first rough draft of my novel done by the holidays.
Oh, Seth, that's wonderful. That's really very exciting. But you know, sweetheart, you shouldn't just be writing at night. You should be writing most of the time. I don't want you to think of the farm as your future now.
I don't want you to worry about the farm, okay?
Franny came by earlier.
She and I talked last night. We're making a small step toward a peaceful coexistence.
Yeah, well, I don't think we really need to get into that now. I want you to rest. And I don't want you to worry about the farm. It's no big deal, especially now that Holden's back.
You know, Seth, Holden was talking about getting a job, and I think he should. It worries me.
Worrying's against the rules, too.
Seth, has Holden told Lily about what he knew?
I doubt it.
Well, I don't understand that. He left here last night. He was on his way to tell her. Oh, sweetheart, would you make sure he doesn't put that off any longer?
Well, I've said as much as I can to Holden, Mama. The rest is up to him.
Hey, Holden, how could you let this precious little lady out of your sight long enough for her to be kidnapped, huh? Well, Hey, I guess it's a good thing that you didn't go right into her rescue, because then you'd be lying there instead of that poor landlord guy.
Lance, I was out looking for her all night, all right? And if I ever run into James Stenbeck, he's a dead man.
Don't talk like that, Holden.
I'm sorry.
Oh, Lily, I heard you were back. I just want to see you for myself. Hello.
I'm fine. It's Rod. That's not too well. They said, well, he just got out of surgery, and they said if he makes it through the next 24 hours that he has a chance.
Oh, I'm sorry. Just thank God he found you.
You remember Lance?
Oh,
Hi. Good to see you again. You know, good looks sure running your family.
Thanks.
Are you going to come out to dinner with us here?
Oh, I don't think I can. I left Brian at Lila's, and they're having a little get-together to make plans for the wedding, which I'll tell you all about later.
Okay.
Listen, Lance, I'll just drive you over to the Lakeview Towers rather than explain on my way to pick up Pam from Meg's, okay? I'd appreciate it.
Pam is at Meg's?
Pam is at Meg's. I told you that Meg was very upset, and Pam went over there to talk to her.
Well, I've got to go.
Okay, see you later.
And you too, huh?
Sierra, can I talk to you for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
See ya.
Well, I'm so glad things are more relaxed between you and Lily.
Yeah, we have a long way to go.
Yeah, well, not as far as my mother and she.
Well, that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I've been urging Lily to speak to Lucinda.
Yeah, well, she tried. I guess they'll work it out eventually.
Yeah, have you heard anything about Craig?
Well, I spoke with Detective Hoyt, and he's working with another man now in Greece. I don't know how to explain this to you, but I just have a feeling that they're getting closer and closer to finding him.
There are two search parties, one's going in from the north, one from the south. If they're there, they should find him.
What exactly did James Stenbeck say to you about Craig? His words were that he would make Sierra a widow if I didn't give in to his demands. What were his demands? At first, he just wanted money. He had a schedule, a timetable, and I delivered 2 packets of money, 2 envelopes, to a locker in a bus station in Harper's, but that was ages and ages ago.
So that must be when he was staying at the Stewart cabin. Harper's not far from there. Now, Lucinda, why didn't you call the police immediately?
I didn't call the police because I was instructed not to call the police. I was instructed not to tell anyone. Not my husband. No one. I did what I did for my daughter Sierra's sake and for my little grandson.
Right. We're just finishing up. Right. Oh, one more thing. Check all the local airports, particularly Oakdale and Lakeville. Any small suspicious private plane wants to take off, ground them until we check them out. Okay.
Where did you meet with Stenbeck? I met him I met him at the penthouse.
Tony Reyes' penthouse? Why did he want to meet you there?
I have no idea, but well, clearly Tonio is in cahoots with James.
Or he wanted you to think that he was. He might have wanted you to meet him there because he used to live there and he knows it inside and out.
Well, looks like we have more questions for Tonio.
Yes. Did he ever tell you anyone else that he was in contact with?
Only Tonio.
Did you ever see Tonio and James together?
No, obviously. I mean, I didn't. Well, I guess I'm guilty, aren't I, of withholding evidence. You gonna press charges?
Hell no. I can't stand this anymore. We have to do something to find Paul.
Barbara, we're doing everything that we can.
You know, if Barbara and Paul hadn't been covering for James all this week, none of this would have happened.
Yeah, I do know. Maybe I should have pressured her when I found out Paul wasn't at Hillsborough.
You? We're hoping that they might lead us to James if we didn't tip our hand.
Well, they would have if Paul hadn't slipped out on us. You were right about Lucinda.
Hal and I think that Emily's been in touch with James, too.
Miss Stewart, sorry to frighten you. I just wondered how long you were going to stay tonight.
Well, I'm not sure. Ms. Ryan wanted me to wait for her to get back, and I really have quite a bit of work to do still.
Okay, I'll be outside if you need me.
Thank you. Barbara, why don't you call me? Hello, Fashions.
Emily, Paul, and I are waiting.
Paul's with you?
Yes, I'm at a phone booth on the road in Ruxton Hills near the Andropolis house. I want you to meet us there. You know where it is. The lights may be out. Nick doesn't have the generator working, but then I think you look very beautiful in the candlelight. Are you packed and ready?
Yes, James. I'm all ready.
Good. Paul and I are very anxious to see you. Make sure you're not followed.